Good day, everyone. My name is Lin Huyen. I'm the founder and host of Fan to Fame. We're here today with former University of Virginia standout, former Baltimore Ravens cornerback, and current fitness trainer, Jermaine Wildenborn. How you doing, Jermaine?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I appreciate your time. Being from Virginia, just like myself, I tend to be biased and root for folks even harder. So it's a pleasure talking to you, man.
All day, man. Great. Happy to be
Growing
here.
up in Chesapeake, man, how'd you get into football?
I mean, where I grew up, that's what you did. You either play sideline bus, that means, you tag in the street. But when you hit the little grass, we had a perfect little area. It was like a little street in the neighborhood I grew up called Fairfield.
Okay.
It's a fence and there's a little bit of grass. You
Yeah.
tag on the middle, but you hit that grass, you get popped. So it was that in basketball, man. Growing up, those were the sports. And I was outside all day, man. We didn't do video games back then like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
It was like Sega Genesis. I'm telling my real age, you know what I mean? So it was all day outside, come in before the lights come on, you're good. So I grew up in it, I started off with martial arts. My dad was very heavy in martial arts. And I feel like that, I tell my son and to this day, like that was big for me, I think. I don't think I realized it till like as I look back from a discipline standpoint and just being able to like deal with things, So I think that was good. And I was late to football. Like I didn't play organized football until seventh grade.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, so definitely different, man. My dad was like, "Nah, your bone's not strong enough," which I'll never forget that, So um, that's how it started, man. Just playing with my friends, like just backyard tackle, like just that's how it started. And I mean, from there, I was just an athlete. I was actually really good in baseball. Like if you let my dad or somebody say like, "Yo, he should have played baseball. He'd have been still playing right now." So, but he wouldn't let me play football. He let me play baseball and basketball. Basketball, I was just an athlete. I was never gonna be great because I wasn't tall enough, but
Right.
I was good in the area. So then like I played 1 year rec, just 1 year.
Oh,
Like
wow.
I used to watch people play, and I just wanted to put on the equipment. Like
Right.
and then I played everything, running back, quarterback, all that stuff. They tried to start me a quarterback. I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't good. I think I was good, but I don't know, man. When I got to middle school, like seventh grade, I didn't play with the team because that's when you first start playing at your school. You
Right.
could play with
Right.
your team had a school. I mean, your school had a team. And then eighth grade, it was like somebody told people that I was a quarterback. Like it became a thing. It was like, oh, so the coach was like, yo, you're gonna be my quarterback next year. Like, I don't even play quarterback. Like
Right.
for my school, it's like you play middle school and the guys they already know you. So when you go to up to
Right.
varsity high
It's
school,
expected. It's expected, right?
there's
You're the
respect.
athlete.
And I was labeled as a quarterback, bro. I didn't even get to play defense. Like he was like, yo, you're not playing defense. You're gonna play quarterback. Like you can't afford to get hurt. And I was just like, bro, I wanted to play defense. Like I felt like I was like, why, so I got labeled and it stuck with me, man. It stuck with me all through high school. I mean, obviously as we had some other guys from other areas that came over and played, but like high school, eighth grade was all quarterback, and I didn't like it, so I didn't really enjoy it. I enjoyed like the guys and the camaraderie, but I did not
Right.
enjoy being quarterback. And if my coach from then sees this, he could be like, "Yo, dude, you lied to me," because I always made it sound like it was cool.
Yeah.
It was fun. I didn't think I was great at it, honestly, but I enjoyed the game. So by the time I got to JV, I played JV for 1 year. They wouldn't let me, like they made me a quarterback again, and I was like, bro, I'm really not trying to be playing
I think that's a
quarterback.
compliment though, because usually I feel like the best athlete's always the quarterback, at least like going up to
Yeah,
high schools,
yeah.
right?
And that was normally how it was. Like everybody
Right.
that came before me was like always one of the best players was the
Mhm.
quarterback. Like they just
Right.
played everything. But the thing is, they were everybody that came before me.
Mhm.
I can tell you each one of them. They all got a full ride. One went to Virginia Tech, one went to Penn State, but they were all defensive players. They
Okay.
all ended up playing defense. They were very
Right.
good
Right.
defensive
Right.
players. So I'm coming along late, and I'm like, nobody let me play defense,
Mhm.
Um, but anyway, long story short, like my sophomore year in high school, I was supposed to come back and play JV. We were supposed to win it all because we just got our butt whipped all
Mhm.
our freshman year, and it was the same thing. The coach was like, "No, you're gonna come play varsity." And now I wasn't expected to start because it was a really good team. We had just won
Right.
the year before, And I was like, bro, I don't want to go play. I'm not gonna get no playing time. They're gonna put me a
Right.
receiver, they're gonna put me a receiver. And I honestly had played with one of the best high school players in that, like around that time. Like I
Okay.
still to look up to him. I learned a lot from him. Um, and I was just like, bro, like I just want to go play. Like,
Right.
but I mean, it probably was the best thing that happened to me. I grew that much faster as far as like just understanding the game and how, like, you know, whatever. Because I was still late to the game. You got to realize I didn't start till seventh
Right.
grade. I was just everything was just off athletic ability.
Right.
And you know, so by my junior year, I was like, dude, I don't want to play quarterback. I was like, that's it. But we had another guy come from another school who was really good, actually highly touted. And I was like, I could focus on defense and receiver. And bro, like I played well, but defense is where I really started to stand out. Like that's where, like, you know, it was second nature. I was always an
Right.
aggressive person. It was like attack, attack, attack. Yeah, I played everything from middle linebacker to outside linebacker to safety to corner. Like I did I mean, you know how in high school you do everything.
Right.
You know, so but I always I'm a lunch pail guy, bro. I didn't get like my junior year, like I mean my junior year I played well. My senior year is where I really blossomed
Mhm.
from a defensive standpoint. I was like all receiver. I just had a thing. I was like, I'm never playing quarterback again. I played a little bit my junior year. I didn't even touch the field as a quarterback.
Right.
My senior year, I played all receiver, like all running back, like everything but running like quarterback.
Okay.
And, like I had like schools like Maryland sending me letters. I had a bunch of letters because letters were big back then. He's like, yo,
Right. Right.
letters,
Yeah. You check the
probably
mail.
totally
Yep.
different, you know, but it was nobody going to offer me. So, you know, like my dad did a lot for me. Like he got with the coach, they put a highlight together. This is when we still had VHS. Again, I'm telling you my age. Like VHS.
I'm not too far behind you, man. Trust me.
I know. So we sent it, they sent it out to everyone. They sent it out to everyone. And then it was just like, oh yeah, great, 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 you know, like whatever, whatever. And it's just, it was never that I couldn't play. It was just
Right.
I didn't get the exposure that I should have probably got. They didn't push it. And I went to Fort Union Military Academy right there in you know, in Virginia, like, dude, like a good hour and 40 minutes down the road.
Right.
Like
Right.
it felt like I drove 20 hours,
Oh
bro.
yeah,
Like
for sure. It's a totally different world.
totally different world. We got there and we got there. You had to try out. You know,
Okay.
they give you a partial scholarship. So you had to run the 40, you had to do, you know, your bench, you had to do drills, and they will offer you a certain amount based off of how you turned out. And this
Got it.
school is like, I mean, Eddie George went here, Testaverde went here. Like it was
Right.
it's a big school like
For
that.
sure. Yep.
That you know, that in between, but you know, going to the next level. And it was a bunch of kids there, you know, and I was never really shy about competition, but they offered somehow, you know, a certain amount. I can't remember. I didn't care about numbers then. It's all on my dad to take care of that. You know what I
Right.
mean? And you know, like so they offered, and then it was official. Like I was like, okay, I'm gonna go here. You know, and some of the kids were coming there were already had offers because you could either go there if you needed more exposure, or
Right.
if your SATs weren't good.
Mhm.
So and some people they would forego their senior year at their school. They would do to play their football season. They would not finish school, not graduate, and redo it there because they focused on your schoolwork and you didn't have any time for anything else. It was a military school.
Right.
Like you get up, trumpet, people telling you what to do, little kids. Like it was crazy. You eat lunch at a certain time, you march,
Right.
you do
Very
details.
structured, right?
It was crazy, you know, like it was lines to use the phone. Like, dude, like so many dudes lost their girlfriends that
Oh
year. Because
yeah.
like the girls went to college and they, you know, they freshmen. So, you know, all the older guys, like, so like I remember having a girlfriend and being like, bro, like she was in DC, she was in Howard. I was
Right.
like,
Right. Right.
like, and like I was just slowly trying to hold on to something that I was losing, you know what I mean? Like we
That's
were already kind of
hilarious.
shaky. Man, it was the long. I mean, I remember like dudes cried, man. They locked your civilian clothes down. You didn't see your civilian clothes for a year. It was like
Yeah.
crazy. But again, like I grew so much, like, you know, and I
Right.
made a good amount of friends. So anyway, like I played well there. I played corner. I haven't really played corner up to that point. I have been
Okay.
playing safety. Like I have been
Okay.
playing safety because I was just a little bit more aggressive. And I never considered myself like a blazer. I was okay, but I was just more like quick.
Right.
I was like, you're playing corner again. Like
This
I came there, I did some
slotting you.
playing corner. Like I was like, dude, I don't really want to play corner. I'm a safety. But to tell you the honest truth, the guys that we had playing safety were really good that year. And I learned a lot from watching them play. It was the one guy that had Tony Campbell, I never forget him, like crazy. skinny as I don't know what, but he used to lay dudes out, bro.
Oh
And
yeah.
he had a scholarship to Tennessee already. He
Okay.
came there with a scholarship, and I don't, he went there, he played. We keep in touch, he hit messages every now and then, but the talent level was just, it was another talent level. We played against, this is when like Virginia Tech had like a JV team.
Yeah.
We played against like a bunch of teams. Like we would travel, just get on the bus. Like they put whatever they got together, we get on the bus, travel. Townsend University. We playing against like smaller 3Ds, like
Right.
but it was better competition than what we were used to, and it was for us to get tape. I mean, when that happened, bro, like I got a lot of tape. I got like Memphis, like even Michigan was asking, like and it was just like, then I started to see the other side because I never needed the academics. My academics were always good enough.
Right.
They weren't the best, but they were good enough. And it just, I never really thought about, like, for me, I never thought about the next step. I always was in the moment, like, gotta work hard, gotta get better. Like I never really thought about it. I was like, I just always, for me, it's crazy because I try to stay in that mode. It's hard to get back to that type of thing. And it was always like, just get better and take care of yourself. Like it was always my thinking. Like even when I was in high school, I didn't think, oh, I have to go to I have to go to college and play football.
Right.
My thing, I don't want to get a job. I was working at Hardee's and TJ Maxx when I was in high school. I was like, I don't want to continue to do this. I'd rather go play ball. You know what I mean? Like that's how I looked at it. I didn't look at it as like I'm trying to make it to the NFL. It was never like, I mean, I thought about it. Every kid thinks about it. Play, but like I was just trying
you're enjoying the moment, right? You're enjoying the moment.
Yeah, and I was just trying to get to college, bro. I'm trying to just get to college. Like I didn't know, I wasn't even like, oh, I'm gonna go to the best school. I just wanted to get a 4-year scholarship. Right. All of the schools in North Carolina and the ACC offered me Wake Forest. The only school that didn't was, I think, UNC. I used to go to their camps. I always took that personal. So I always played them really hard.
Okay.
But everywhere else, NC State, I went to all visits. And you go to a lot of visits, you go on visits, and all the time. And, like Virginia came, and then we had a guy that had already committed there that came late. And they switched his position. He was a running back. He looked very stout, but they ended up moving him to corner. He ended up playing defensive back with me in college. And they came in, man, they signed a bunch of us. They signed like one of my good friends now, he's fighting cancer, Zach Yarbrough, Armando Curry, one of the Curry boys, Art Thomas. It was like a bunch of us. They like a package deal. Right. And they signed a lot of us, man. They came in and it was like, they were right up the street. It's like 45 minutes away. Right. So for me, I was like, this is big time football. I was watching Aaron Brooks. Yeah. What is it? I can't even think of his name right now, but he's like one of the biggest running backs to come through.
Are you talking about Tiki Barber?
Nah, Tiki.
Oh, that was before. Are you talking about Thomas?
Thomas Jones. Like we would go to the games and watch them play, and it was just like, dude, I was like, yo, this is like, I'm playing. I wanted to go to UNC because that's where I went for my camps. Me and my high school teammates went there. I was like, they playing USC, and they playing UNC.
Same conference.
Dre Bly, like one of my best friends, is his cousin. So, like it was just like a lot of athletes were going to those ACC schools. They were Virginia. And I was like, what? I'm good. This is it. Like, and for me, it was just like another day at work, So when I get there, they moved me back to safety. So I'm playing safety my first.
It's good to be wanted though, man. It's good to be wanted.
You're right. And it's crazy because like, bro, I don't know if you know Antoine Womack. Like, I don't know, you might not know him. Like he got drafted. He was a beast. He tore his ACL his last year, but he ended up being with the Giants. It was funny because when I went to the Giants my first year, it was him and Tiki, and they both were UVA guys.
Got it.
And Antoine gave Thomas Jones a run for his money. He was like, he came in later. He was from Hampton. Crazy. I thought he was crazy. I was scared of him. Like literally scared. You put it on tape. Everybody knows like he's crazy. But like he used to punt. Like I thought I was tough. I got tougher my freshman year. Like, cause I didn't redshirt because I did my year. I was like, we were like, none of us redshirt. I was like, yo, I'm ready. Bro. He was a month. Dude, I never played against a running back like that was as fierce as him. And it was every day. Like
he scary, man. Someone just going towards you 100 miles an hour, just
looking for contact. Like, bro, like, do you get tired? Like, but it really toughened me up even more. And I was like, I was never soft, but it was like, this dude, he just keep going. Like, look, any back after a while, you get a little chink in the arm and they start missing. He didn't have any juice, so he was one way straight down here. But my first year there was tough, bro. So I played a little bit, but a lot of special teams. Got in the paper. It was just like, yo, I did it, and then Coach Welsh was gone. That one and done. That was my first year. My second year, Al Groh came in. He tried to bring this whole NFL type system and the way we did things. We went back from Reebok to Nike. It was like a bunch of stuff, and they pushed me back to corner. I went back to corner. So my sophomore year playing corner. And you know what? Like, I think for me, this was like it's always been a struggle for me. Like, it's never been easy. Never been easy for me. So I mean, like, if I'm gonna start like kind of dropping those nuggets as I'm telling you the story, is, man, like, I always felt like if it's not easy, then it's not worth it, or like, you're gonna come up short. Like, it's gotta be a struggle. And my struggle, a lot of people who know my story, they might not know. Like, I'm telling you more in detail. Like, I jumped around in positions and I wasn't always happy with where I was put. I didn't want to play corner. Again, I was like, he was like, you're gonna play corner. And I was like, not trying to play it. And I didn't play well. I played good in camp, just enough to get a starting position. And I don't know if you know Lee Evans. He played at Buffalo. He was a Wisconsin.
Yeah. I know you're talking about. Yep.
Last guy, like a 4-3 guy. Our first game we played against Wisconsin. And I played well in the beginning. We had some missed our coverages, and he burned us for like a couple touchdowns. And I ended up losing my position or my starting spot. And like, we weren't that deep, but it was just like, dude, that was like a wake up call. I had never been benched. I had never been, a backup in that sense, except for my first year, but I was a rookie coming into college. And I got my spot back, but it was always shaky. So for me, I felt like the coaches were like, yo, we need to bring some young guys in, because we got some guys, but we could always do better. So that's when I kind of just took it to another level going into my junior year. Like, I worked out really hard. I worked on my footwork because I felt like my footwork was a little sloppy. And I pulled my coach in the office. My position coach was like, "Oh, what I need to work on?" He was like, "Yo, you don't lead step. You take false. You do a lot of false steps." So I worked on that. Again, I wasn't thinking about NFL. I was in the moment. I was like, bro, you need to solidify yourself as a starter on this team at that corner position. You just need to ball out. Like, I wasn't even about, and this is when I think my junior year is when Matt really made a name for himself. That's when he really came out. That was his coming out party my junior year, because we played well. But that's when, like, that going into my junior year, I broke my hand. So I ended up playing a lot of it with a cast. So I didn't have a lot of interceptions. I don't know if I had maybe like 2 or 3. And back then it was all about the interceptions, but I was more of a physical corner. I felt like I was always the safety. Like, that's just me. So I got to play against like a lot of great players, but like my junior year is my come out year. That's when I think I played like solid. Like, I played really solid that year. I got all ACT of the week a few times, like 3rd team, all ACT. Like, I was just doing well for myself. Like, I still wasn't thinking. I'm not thinking about it. I'm not coming out early. You know what I mean? So I'm not thinking about NFL. You always watch the guys that come before you that go through that process of going through train the pro day. Some of them go to Indy. So my junior year we had B-Mac, we had Angelo Crowell. And Matt still had another year. So, like, we watched him go through the process. But again, like, wasn't really caught up in it. Like, I was just like, okay, I gotta play lights out senior year. Like, I gotta step it up again. Let's hit another level. So, I trained hard, you know what I mean? We did everything I felt like I needed to do. And so my senior year, it was no question, you know what I mean? Like, it was no, we need another guy. You're the guy, make it happen. Like, you and whoever else, our secondary was set. So, we played well. We played very well. We lost some games, but we won a lot more than we lost. And towards the end of the season, one of my boys, like, this is my boy to this day, he been calling me for a few days, so he's gonna curse me out because I've been busy. But he has some academic issues, so he was the starting safety. So we had to figure out what we were gonna do. We had a young guy, but he had messed his shoulder up. So then I was able to transition back to safety. But like at that time, I was so like focused as a corner, because as a corner, you
Yeah.
can get away with not knowing all the intricate details of what goes on in that
Mhm.
front and then the calls. Like you just need
Right.
to know. Like I got lazy from that aspect. I felt so I had to like this was towards we was trying to make the playoffs at that time. I'm gonna
Right.
get to a playoff berth game or a bowl game as we say. I'm
Right.
all I
Right.
still I get confused. And so I had to jump on it. But that is what I think helped me transition, because players, coaches and teams started to look at me a little different because I didn't have much film as a safety other than my freshman year. So
Right.
when I was playing, I was literally different packages. I would be a corner one package and I would come back and play safeties. And I was making plays from both ends.
Right.
And I just hit a spot where like it hit. And like the Virginia Tech game is when like we played against a lot of my boys. They had a lot of guys that time. They had the running back that went first round. I can't think of his name. He was a beast. He was fast. I can't think of his name. He went to the Lions. He didn't play long.
Kevin Jones, right?
Kevin
Kevin
Jones,
Jones, yeah.
D'Angelo Hall, and they had a
A
few
lot
other
of people
cats.
from the
They had a lot of
757.
so it is always a rivalry game. We hadn't beat them
Yeah.
since like 98, bro. They just smashed us every year.
Yep.
And then that's Matt was playing well. And as a secondary at that point, we were on it. We clicked at the right time. And like just like the last 4 or 5 games, man, I just kind of played lights fucking out. Like just all over the field, running up, filling gaps, breaking up passes, interceptions, whatever. So
Right.
my strength coach after the season was like, he was like, everybody's coming in because Matt, third round pick, he ended up going third round to Atlanta. And he was like, but a lot of cats are asking about you, you know what I mean? And I remember working out for the Patriots, because they got that, they like those type of guys. They're like, you can kind of put them in different parts.
Right.
And and I was like, again, that was the thing. And my coach had put me, he was like, listen, that's going to be a big thing for you because it's going to help you because like
you're dynamic.
Not only in that corner, but you can kind of move around. And I think, like they're a wrench guy. But again, man, like I was just like head down, let's work. You know what I mean? Like it's all about the 40. I didn't run a great 40. I think I ran like a 4.49 maybe. Like that was decent, but like guys were
darn good, man.
it was decent. It was decent.
Yeah.
But like guys were blazing, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
that was never my game. It was more like, let me get on the field, just give me a shot. Like that's how I always approached the game. So I remember the Patriots guys came in, worked me out like a one-on-one, like worked me out to death, bro. I was done.
Oh yeah,
like,
I bet.
And they worked me at safety, they worked me at corner, but mainly safety, you know what I mean? Because again, that was that type of thing. And my agent at the time was telling me, like, dude, like that's the type of team like you could, they were already the Patriots of the Patriots at that time.
Right.
So yeah, man, I didn't expect to get drafted again. I was like, if it happens, it happens. He was like, if you go, it's gonna be late 7th, maybe 6th, free agent.
Right.
And so I don't know if you know the story, but like I think like end of the year, I ended up getting into a situation where I was shot. I got shot.
I didn't know that. This your senior year?
This is after the season. This is like this is after the draft.
Okay. Wow.
This is after the draft. So I get a call. This is all right. So I'm jumping around. I get a call with the 7th pick from the Giants, and they're like, okay, Jermaine, like we may take you with the 7th pick.
Right.
But either way, we want to bring you in for camp. We want to invite you to camp.
Right.
Sign the bonus, whatever. So they picked the guy, I'll never forget. They picked, I can't remember his name, but they picked the defensive end who ran a 4.4 from Hampton.
Wow.
From HU. Like, and like, I hope the guy doesn't kill me out. I can't remember his name, but like, he made the team, but like, he was just fast,
Right.
And I don't know, like, if he even made the team, but I came in as a, they was like, we want to bring you in, So, bam, my agent was like, yo, sometimes it's better to be a free agent than to be a 7th-round draft pick because you can pick the best situation.
That's true, right?
You get offers. Like that was me learning the game. And at that time, they had Peterson and another dude, I can't think of his name. One of them had came back from injury. The other one was on a contract year. And then they had some backups that I didn't really know. So they didn't have a deep roster. Right. I didn't understand the game. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll go to New York, give me that shot. And bro, when I got there, I just realized like it was like competition. It was another level.
Another level. Yeah.
Bro, you didn't get reps. Like you had maybe 1 or 2 reps. And in those reps, you gotta make something happen.
You gotta make the best out of those, yeah.
you either need to be, if the ball doesn't come in, you got to be sprinting like a bat out of hell. You better be laying out because
Yeah.
your reps, like you're splitting reps with another dude. Like, so
Right.
you might get one rep because they're trying to get ready for the season, man. If you think about
Sure.
it, they got their starters.
Right.
They already know. They'll tell you, like, like, listen, you're gonna make this team, it's gonna be special teams. And
Right.
it helps if you can play your position.
Right.
But this ain't for you. Like, don't think that you're gonna make this team by making plays. I mean, it helps that you can play the game, if you can get, you can show in practice, but you gotta be able to play special teams, bro.
Right.
We got two corners, we paying 120 and 110 million. Like,
Right.
we got two backups, we paying them, 1.3. Like,
Right.
you're expanding, like it's whatever.
Right.
So it was like, listen, and we had Coach Coughlin. I did not like him. It was his first year. This is his first year. Eli came in the same year. Eli Manning came in the same year, 2004.
Right.
And he was like, bro, like, if the meeting says 7, you be there at 6:45, 6:55. If you're not at the meeting at 6:55, you're late. And you're gonna pay for it. Like, whether it's game check money or whatever it was at that time, they're gonna, and like, and when I came there, Strahan was still there. Tiki was still there. Like, and they were just like, bro, like, this guy's crazy. You know what I mean? Like, he was,
for sure.
So I was like, bro, I did not like it. My rookie year, I was like, bro, I don't know. I ain't really feeling football like that. Like, I love football, but this is crazy.
Right.
And it was just rough, man. But just to fast forward back, man. So a lot of people don't know this. Like, I know, like, so I know my son's listening. I ain't never getting right. I got in an altercation, and it happened, and
it's crazy.
Like, it would have been like a centimeter off. I would have been just bled to death. I would have been gone. And it was a situation where, like, it was just dumb. Like, like, I had to go to court. The guy ended up doing time, whatever.
Were you a target, or were you just at
I was
the wrong place at the wrong time? Or
I kind of got into it with the guy, but he was beefing with a lot of other guys. And it was beef from another one of my teammates. And I was always the guy trying to, like, calm things down.
Yeah.
But I lost my cool that night. It was out of pocket because I'm always the cool one. And it was a huge lesson, man.
That's crazy, man. Well, I'm glad you're okay, man. It's years later, but things like that changed your life for sure.
Yeah. So what happened was I just had to prove it wasn't like I didn't initiate it. It wasn't, whatever.
Right.
So New York had, like, I remember my dad, it's a 3-hour drive. My dad and his best friend got there like an hour and a half. I was at the hospital, and my agent came. He was like, sign the papers, because I had signed the papers. He was like, just sign your contract.
Right.
So I was like, yo, I'm done. Like, I feel like I, messed up. I had been, like, straight on it, like, one night, whatever. So they, at some point, my agent kept conversation with New York, because I already accepted to go in. So at some point when I was ready, I rehabbed. I got back to a good place. Right. And he was like, bring him in. Let's check him out. Let's see if his leg's really bad. So their doctors checked me out. I ran a 40. Wasn't great because I hadn't been training for the 40. I was just Coach Coughlin. I remember Coach Coughlin said, just get him a jersey. Let's go. You know what I mean? Let's get it. Let's basically what he said. I was like, okay, cool. Because I missed the rookie camp. I was there, but I was just on a bike. Right. I couldn't do anything. I just watched the guys play. So I was ready. By the time camp started, I was ready, bro. And I feel like I played very strong. I feel like towards the end, I played very strong, but it was a numbers game. Yeah, it was only one safety, one DB. It was only one DB. So we had a guy from North Carolina A&T who was North Carolina A&T, and he was fast, but he was tall and long. Like, he was long, and he could run. He wasn't even fast; he just could run. Right. So he was like prime gunner. And he could cover. He was a decent guy. He was not tough, but he could cover. You know what I mean? Right. He was like a 6'1" corner that could run. So he ended up beating me out. But I played very well. Very well, and I had film. And, like, once you get film in the league, it just circulates. Yep. So I got released. They did, and you always take it personal. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't understand the business aspect of it. I was just like a kid trying to make the team. I'm like, I'm better than this kid. Right. Going Coach Coughlin office, and he's like, yo, we're not even gonna talk about practice squad. So I felt like I wasn't good enough to be on the practice squad, because I didn't even know practice squad was a thing. And he was like, yo, like, so I was released, but I was working out, and I was getting calls from teams. I worked out in Cleveland, Denver, Carolina. I was working out everywhere. Every
Right.
Tuesday I was on a plane. My agent he did a great job at keeping
Right.
me booked. By now I had changed agents. And then I went to Baltimore,
Hmm.
worked out for Baltimore, and didn't go home. I didn't
Yeah.
go home. I stayed. I met the guys. That's when Dion was there. I'll never forget that Dion had played that year.
Dion was there. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
I
that's
got to
right.
meet him. Like I played with him
Prime
for a week.
time.
Yeah, and he was so I was in the meeting room like out of my mind because like I'm on the defensive side of the ball. These are kids I watched growing up.
For
Ed
sure.
Reed, like like the Rays, like
Right.
T Slizzle, Suggs, like Boware, like it was like crazy. And the
Right.
first person who greets me when I come in the room, I never forget. He was like, "How you doing, man? My name's Dion." And I'm just like, bro,
Bro, I know who
like
you are.
I know who you are. Like it was so cool, man.
That's
That was
dope.
probably like that's when I knew I had arrived. Like that's when
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
like,
yeah,
yo, like,
yeah. That's
but
dope.
again, man, the guy was like, listen, you can go home when the team travels, but you got to stay. So I was in a hotel. I went to practice. I think like it was the day before they had to leave.
Okay.
So I ended up catching a flight home. I had a little hoopty, a little legend, Accra legend,
I got
93.
hoopty.
Drove it up there, man, and I took what I had, and I got a roommate. I went through 4 roommates, bro. Like it is so stressful when you are on the bottom of the list because every
Yeah.
Tuesday they're bringing guys in, just like they brought me in.
Right.
And like sometimes it's not even that you're not good.
Right.
It's a numbers game. So say a lineman get hurt, they got to cut the last. They cut the last guy that they brought in. We had an apartment that had to go through at least like 6 different people.
That's crazy.
When I got there, I stayed with a guy. Then they cut him, and I was there, and I ended up staying. I just kept again, man. It was never the grind never stopped.
Right.
Like every day, the guy was like, "Listen, you're a practice squad guy. You're not on the team. You got to get better. We need to see this, this, and this."
Right.
Every day, yo, it was like a grind, man. And every Tuesday, I didn't want to come to the facility because like I didn't want to get a call saying,
Yeah.
"Hey, man, gotta let you go." Like,
Right. Right.
and I promise you, like my first 3 years, I was like that. I was just
Right.
like, I didn't buy a car. Like I didn't want to move. Like I was just
You're
always
smart. You're
yeah.
smart.
So I don't even know, was smart or scared. Like legit scared.
It went
And
hand
I
in
just
hand at the time.
Joe, and I started working. So I started working with a guy. I don't know if you know Ronyo Whitaker. He played at
I know the
Virginia
name. I know
Tech.
the name. Yeah.
Yeah, his uncle was the boxer, Whitaker, the
Yeah.
boxer.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so he was working out when he had his best season in college. He was working out with this guy named James Church. To this day, the guy James Church is not a trainer. He was the president of a Lincoln dealership, bro. But
Okay.
he was an athlete, ex-athlete. We have this place in 757, like Virginia Beach area called Mount Trashmore. It's a huge
Okay.
hill, a bunch of steps. Bro, I found this guy. And he was like, "Yo," my man was like, "Yo, you need to work out with this guy." I was already in the league at this point, like
Right.
trying to just stay.
Right.
Man, I started working out with this guy, and he would put me in a vest and like tights with a vest, like the whole vest, not just the top.
Yeah.
And like we would do the same exercises, the same routine every Saturday when I was home in the off season. Bro, it took my game to another level.
That's crazy.
I was playing corner, bro, and this is when I like had to go through training camp with Baltimore the next year, like after they signed me. And I played was me. And listen, I'm gonna tell you who was playing corners this year. I don't know how we was gonna make the team. It was me and another guy. Another guy could play.
Okay.
We were like, dude, how are we gonna make the team? It was Chris McAllister,
Yeah, I remember him.
Samari Rowe. Those were the starters.
Those are stars, yeah.
The backups were Dale Carter, who had played for 14 years, and Deion Sanders, who everybody knows.
Wow.
That's your 4 corners. So we were like, dude, how the we gonna make this team? Like how? Like, and we were playing out of like our secondary was so good. We had Will Demps.
Yeah.
We had Ed Reed. We had some good backups that you might not know. And then we had those 4 corners.
Right.
We were good. On paper, like they were like, yo, y'all stacked.
Right.
And me and my guy, his name was Zach Norton. I'll never forget. He played in Cincinnati, bro. He could cover, he could play. Bro, we played. Actually, we had went to Europe. That's when they still had NFL Europe. They sent us over to Europe. You had to make your team there. Like it was just like a grind year round.
Right.
You had to make the team there. It was a numbers game there too, because everybody like had come from a team. Went to Europe. Probably was the best time of my life. Spent like 3 months there. Amazing time. Came back. Now it's time to grind, bro. Like, and I was playing at such a high level, man. Like, again, like I wasn't at this point, it was probably the first time I wasn't worried about making the team. I was just worried about getting better. Every day
Right.
when I played in Baltimore, I had fun with the guys, man, but you wanted like I had an urge to get better every
Mhm.
day. And like just play. I mean, you couldn't get on. I just wanted to get on the field and say that they believed in me and that I was good enough to be on
Right.
the field with the Ray Lewis's, with the Terrell Suggs, with the Chris McAllister's, with the Ed Reeds, you know. And
Mhm.
it was, you know, like I just work. Now we played a numbers game because I ended up getting hurt actually. I got my appendix burst. So Ozzie Newsome, never forget him. God bless
Yep.
him, great guy. He was like,
Yep.
we're not gonna cut you, you know, just heal, come back in. So that next year, I was like still
Right.
grinding, man, still fighting.
Right.
And then we lost Will Dips. He went to the Giants, so it was
Mhm.
just Ed Reed. And it was like, oh, we need, you know, like a safety. So I was like, yo, like I should try to play safety,
Right.
like whatever gets me in. So I had to go back in, transition myself back to safety. I've been playing corner all this time. It's just this has been my career, man, back and
Right.
forth. And um, at that point, like I end up making the team, I think, but I didn't start. I was thinking I could start. They brought in a guy who could really play. I got a lot of respect for him. I can't think of his name right now. He ended up starting, ended up playing well. Um, but that's how I got in. But in the end of the day, it came back. I could always play safety and corner. I could play
Right. Right.
defense, but I had to special teams is where I made it. This is
Right.
like 2 or 3 years in. Like that's
Right.
how I made it. But it was a never ending grind. And I was actually on it. I mean, claim to fame, like I was on the Pro Bowl ballot for special teams. I didn't
Mhm.
get it, but I was just to be on the ballot. Like, and I played well that year. And I ended up playing on defense. I ended up getting to play. I played against Tom. I played against Peyton Manning. I got to play against like great players. I made
Right.
plays against them, you know what I mean? So I mean the Patriots game when they went 17-0, that penalty they called that would have won the game, it was on me, sadly enough. But
Oh, wow.
it was Bart took the penalty marker. This when he took the flag and threw it in the stands, bro, and they threw it against the
Yeah.
penalty. But like I had those opportunities, you
Yeah.
know, and to be on the field. So for me, like it was like that was, you know, I worked so much from, you know, that seventh grade year, not
Oh,
knowing
yeah.
ever wherever it was gonna go, to that point to being on, you know, a Monday night game that was huge. Everybody watched. Like my phone was
Oh,
I
yeah.
came out of the game like I was sad because we lost and I had that, but like I had, you know, it all led up to like that moment and some moments after where it was just like, yo, I had finally arrived, you know, and
Definitely.
but it was I never saw where I was going because my head was always down. I was always
Mhm.
working. Um, so just to kind of to tie it all together, man, for me, it was always about like I always wanted to be better. And even
Right.
today, like I'm in fitness now and my clients and I talk to people and I do a lot of speaking and talking and people are always like, you know, like you're obsessed with trying to be better every day. And that used to be my
Right.
thing, you know, and it's like always because that's like the honest guy never lie, man. You watch practices, you take a wrong step, like you always trying to be better.
Right.
But I'll tell the kids that follow behind me, and I honestly think, man, kids now is different now. Like
Mhm.
they're hungry, like they get
Oh,
it, they
yeah.
get to work.
They
But
start younger, man.
they start younger. But
Yeah.
I'll tell them, man, like don't worry about that yet.
Yeah.
Just worry about be in the process, man. I know it's a thing they said in the NBA. I heard like Kyrie Irving, a lot of people said, I know it's a thing in Philly. It was Philly, the 76ers,
Yeah.
like the process, enjoy the
Process.
process. And if you enjoy the process, I
Mhm.
mean, you're good because the process sucks. I'm gonna be
Right.
real with you, it sucks. But if you can make yourself enjoy that process,
Right.
then it's a different ball game, man. It's put your head down, work. Don't worry about the NFL.
Right.
Worry about the next game, worry about the next play, worry about, you
Right.
know, that next grade you need to stay eligible. Like
Yep.
like
Yep.
I people get so caught up in what they see on TV and it's you know, like for me, honestly, I'll tell you, like I never knew if I was good enough to play at that
Right.
level. I always knew I was good enough for that wherever I was. So I was
Right.
like, I'm good enough to get a scholarship. I'm
Mhm.
good enough to start in college. I'm good enough to, and then it was like, damn, I found myself around all these superstars like Tiki Barber and people that I grew up with and people that I
Right.
still watch and Hall of Famers. And I'm like, now I'm good enough to make this team. You
Right.
know, now I'm good enough to get on this defense and play in a game. Like it just it's never about, I was never thinking that
Right.
10 years before, 5 years before, or even 2 or 3 years before. It was always about like, I'm always focused on what's in front of me right now.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of the kids now just want to, not everybody, but
They fast forward
everybody
themselves,
want to
right?
be the next, whoever, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like the next Tom Brady or the next,
Right.
whoever we can think of. But um, I think not enough people appreciate and live in that process in that moment,
Right.
and just focus on trying to get better every day. Now, there are a lot of kids that I speak to, man, that they got their head on straight. They do. They
Mhm.
have their heads on straight and they approached it the right way. But even me now, if I go back, I would do so much different. Like I would still approach it. I think I let off the gas a little bit my last few years. I think I should have continued to push hard because I work so hard just to get in the door. Like I played
Right.
with oh man, he's an analyst now. He played with the Giants and then he played with the Redskins. He won a Super Bowl with he's a safety. He's on all the time. Why can't I think his name? I watch him all the time. He won a Super Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers. 25. Ryan Clark.
Oh,
Ryan
Ryan
Clark.
Ryan Clark. Ryan Clark, right?
So Ryan, when I came to New
Yeah.
York, they put us in a back room. It wasn't even a locker room, bro.
Uh-huh.
We didn't even get real lockers. It was like some stuff they made from tape. Like that's how it was. Like he used to always say, bro, we come in through the back door. Like
Yeah.
you don't get to go through the front. And I respect him. Like he had an impression on me my first year. He probably doesn't even know. He might not even remember me, but he was a walk-on or whatever, a free agent
Yeah.
who grinded. And then he
I was
ended
gonna
up
say a lot of people forget about Ryan Clark. I
I
remember
know his story.
yeah, he didn't just come in as a high profile player. He worked his way up.
I
And
was
I
in
think
the
a lot of
back
people forget
room with
about
him.
that.
I
Yeah.
was in the back room, and he used to keep us going, bro. He kept us going because he would always be joking and playing around. But he
Yeah.
always like I watch him now, not off of what he did when he got on, but for who he was before he got on.
Right,
Like he
right,
worked, man. And then I watched him play. I mean, I played against him.
right.
He wouldn't even remember me probably he might, but he probably wouldn't. But I respect him, and I watch him to this day because I have a lot of respect for him. But like guys like that, man, and he
Yeah.
took it to another level. He went further than I did. He got to win Super Bowl. He started, he made some money. Like he's an analyst, he's doing well for himself. But like that's the type of guy that you want to model yourself about. Like look
Right.
him up. Like if you watch this,
Yeah.
me, yeah, but look him up and learn. He's an LSU guy,
Mhm.
which is big time football, but I don't know. Everybody doesn't get picked on the first day. Everybody doesn't
Right.
get picked on the second day, So just enjoying the process, man, and always staying humble. I never talk about the fact that I play professional football.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy because like I teach classes and people be like, a girl will bring her boyfriend or husband up and like, yo, like he looked you up. He knows you play football. And I'm like, how come I didn't know? And people don't know. And they're like, yo, you should
Right.
use him. And I don't. Even my wife, like people say, like you should do it more. You should use it more. And I don't. But it's not because I'm shy about it. It's just like I don't know. I can't never really explain it. You get me talking about it, I'll talk about it. But like I'll
Right.
never start a conversation about it.
Right.
Like, and I like to talk about more what it did for me as a man
Right.
than the
I feel
whole.
you.
So like again, man, like focus on those 2 steps, man. Rome wasn't built in a day, and you never got anywhere without taking that first step. So always focus on like just getting better every day and just enjoy the process. And that's I'm playing with my words because again, the process sucks. But
Right.
if you learn to enjoy it, because it can be learned, anything can be learned. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like, I hated heels, but I learned to endure them. And I ain't gonna say I like them, but I
Right.
enjoy the process and you enjoy the benefit. So now everything I do, if you tell me eat raw garlic is gonna make me do this,
Right.
I'm gonna do it because I'm only looking at the end result. I want to see where it's gonna take me. I'll do whatever I gotta do to get to that result.
Right.
If it's I want to make the team. I want to dress. Like my goal, my first year making the team, I was like, I want to dress every game because I learned that just because you make the team doesn't mean you dress.
Right. Right.
54 people, but like 40. What is it? It's a 53-man roster.
Mhm.
Everybody doesn't dress.
Right.
Usually the people who don't dress, they never dress. So I
Mhm.
was like, I ain't here just to be on the team. I want to play. So I want to
Right.
dress every game. So that was my goal and that was my focus. And I dressed every game. My first year, my first game, I didn't play. But
Mhm.
after that, I played every game, like whether it was
Right.
special teams or not. So it's just all about just, man, becoming obsessed with something, healthy obsession, obviously, but
Right.
and crazily in your mind, enjoying that process, whether it's weight vests, water workouts, 6
Right.
a.m., 5 a.m., 4 a.m. Like,
Right.
you know why you're doing it, know your why. And I use a why now. Like, what's your why? Like when I get clients and I'm like trying to get somebody to sign up for, a package, I'm like, what's your why? Like, you tell
Yes.
me you want to lose weight, you tell me you want to pick your kids up. Like, but I find that why in them because people don't know what their why is.
Right.
I read a book by a guy, I can't think of, but he said you ask what's why 7 times.
Mhm.
And usually you help the person define or find out what their why is. I want to be a great football player. Why you want to be a great football player? Because
Right.
my dad was a great football player. So why was your dad a good football player? You just keep
Right.
asking why
Right. Right.
and
Right.
make them dig. And people don't dig. And I mean, that's another thing I'll say, like another nugget is like all your listeners and everybody who watches or any kid who wants to take it to the next level, like they
Right.
need to know why. And you might not know right away. I know why.
Right.
First it was I didn't want to go to college. I didn't want to work. Then it was,
That was your
like,
why.
yeah, like it, like it, but it evolves and it changes too. So you
Yeah.
always need to be aware of it.
Yeah.
But knowing your why, man, in the process is like if my this long rambling story I just told you
It's
doesn't
great,
tell you.
man. It's awesome. It's great. You have an absolutely amazing story. I appreciate you just being as open as you are, transparent.
Oh, no
This is the big
problem.
reason why I did it, man. I think there's a lot of people you kind of test to it. Some people just so fast forward in the future. They don't forget about the present. Sometimes they don't think about the education part. They just think about their talent. But I mean, football or anything in life, it's only temporarily,
Anything.
and you got to think about what the next step is. So, man, you have an amazing story. I did not know half the stuff you did, so I'm glad you brushed on all that stuff.
Dude,
This is awesome, man. I appreciate it.
everybody, you could interview a bunch of me's and everybody has a story. You said it right. And I mean, you
Right.
said a few things, man, that like really stuck. Like everybody has a story. But what's
Right.
awesome about you and your show, man, is that like really you listen, like it's
Absolutely.
always nuggets, man. The guy who works at McDonald's, you can listen to his story and how he struggled and pick something out of it, man. So sports are always great in that sense, man. But I
Right.
really appreciate what you're doing, man. And I'm grateful for you to like have reached out to me. I was like, yeah, sure, of course. I'm pleasure to be on your show. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah,
appreciate it,
man. It's
man.
all
And I
about
hope
networking, right? That's what the world's all about, man. It's building that relationship with folks. If you don't
definitely.
mind, I just have a couple last minute questions more about yourself as a person, some fun facts,
Yeah,
and
no
about
doubt.
your time playing. So you kind of brushed on the Hall of Famers you played with: Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Deion Sanders. What's something that really pops out that you take away, even to this day, playing around this guy and being around those guys?
Bro, they practice the same way that they play. They have fun,
Yeah.
but their intensity level is the same. The
Mm-hmm.
things that Ed Reed did in the games, he did
Mm-hmm.
it in practice. It wasn't just something that he just put a head on.
Right.
When he intercepted a ball, he would run it 100 yards in practice. And
Yeah.
he, like Ray was just his energy was the same. Like what you saw, like you don't want to make a tackle with him because you're gonna get hurt. He gonna hurt you, ain't gonna hurt the ball carrier.
Right.
Like, but that's how he practiced. He practiced. He ran from sideline to sideline at the age of whatever age he was. I don't know. He was old.
He
I just
played for
remember
a
being
while.
older.
He played for a
Yeah.
while.
So and like, and he still played like another whatever 70 years after I left. So like, it's the way they approach the game, but it wasn't just the physical part of it. They understood the game inside and out. Like
Right.
Every will always have us over at his house. He bring you could access the whole network in his house. You could watch any game. He had it set up that way.
Right.
And he studied the game, man. And it was their approach. It was their approach to practice. It was their approach to everything they did. And like it was amazing to watch. Cause I had never seen that before.
Right.
I'd never seen it before, and it looked so effortlessly on game day, but it's because they were so prepared that like they knew. Like they knew what it was. They knew, what it didn't matter who they played against. It didn't matter if it was time when we had our offense was like just our defense was always stout and our offense was just like, we approached the game the same way.
Right.
Oh, okay, so we can't score no points. All right, so we'll kick a field goal. We just won't let them score any, or like so the approach was never give up, never surrender. And it was also just like be prepared, man. They were always prepared. I love the way they prep for a game, like always prepared. And it's just it's things that I saw that I would never forget about how they practice. Ray Lewis would give a speech and you'd think he wrote it. It was just off the dome.
It's on his mind, yeah.
And he have you ready to go to war, man. He have you ready, like, and I mean, like, for me to experience that, and he played with so many guys, a lot of guys experienced it, and it was a blessing to be around that. I mean, the Jonathan Ogdens, man, I didn't even mention Jo. Jo was a Hall of Famer. Like, I mean, so I played with Steve McNair. Like,
Right.
God rest his soul. Like,
Right.
it's ridiculous. I played with like and they all had, it was the difference is the way they approach the game. I played with guys who were just talented. They didn't approach the game the same. And they
Right.
made some money, but they never really probably attained that,
Right.
whatever their total talent level where they could have went. But the approach, man, the preparation, like
Yeah.
they practiced the way they played. So the game was always easy for them because they made the practice
That's
hard.
the norm for them. That's what they knew.
That's what they knew.
Practice how you play.
Practice. It's a real thing. People take it for granted, but it's like, just listen to what things Kobe used to say. So definitely, man.
That's pretty dope, man. Yeah, that's amazing. I can't imagine I'd be starstruck. I mean, those are just some great players right there. Just hearing Ray Lewis, just watch on TV, I just get hyped in the living room listening to him. So I can only imagine how it was.
It takes a while. It takes a while to get.
Yeah.
It takes a while to get used to it. Like you're gonna be starstruck for a minute. Like I was starstruck for a whole year, probably.
No, that's pretty dope. I mean, you had some great moments. I mean, every time I think about Baltimore, I definitely think about the defense. But what's something that you always kind of look forward to? Was there a player that you look forward to playing against, or can you remember a moment that you were really like excited and looking forward to being part of?
I mean, we would always get game balls as a defense because we play well. But if I can tell you, the Pittsburgh game was always
Rivalries, man. Yeah,
that was a game that you wanted to be a part of. If you had anything in your skin, like if you had anything about you, any character, those games were very physical, and they've always been physical. They've taken on different shapes over the years, but to be able to play in those games, I mean, like it was rough.
Oh yeah,
like
sure. It was physical.
If you weren't feeling it the next day, you must ain't play any snaps. Like you could be out there and contact will find you. But I think those were the games that we got up for. And I'm not saying we got up for every game, but it was always a little something about playing Pittsburgh. It always meant something, man. Playing against, like God bless me, I missed the bus. I ain't never had to play against him because he was a beast.
Yeah.
But like it was always something to look forward for. Like just to be able to say I competed in that games because everybody who played a sport knows rivalries on some level.
Of course.
That was a very physical one. Very, very physical one. We either whipped them or they whipped us. Yeah. But always a toll on both teams. So that was something we always look forward to. The physicality of it was always there, never non-existent.
Even to this day, man, I was like, I'm a big Redskins fan, watching football team fan, being from like Virginia and whatnot. But I always look forward to watching Baltimore and Pittsburgh play. It's something that's you enjoyed watching for sure.
I still do, man. I had you get to pick tickets because I'm part of the Legends group.
Okay.
And I put in like all my tickets that I wanted, and I could only get 2 though. So I picked Baltimore, and I picked a couple games. I picked the Chiefs game, but the game tickets they just sent them today.
Dope.
I got the Rams. That's in January.
Okay.
So it's a January game. So we'll know who's who's fighting for the playoffs. I'm pretty sure both of those teams will be fighting. So Baltimore should be in it. So I'm gonna try to get some more so I can take my family. If not, my son is like dying to go.
That is dope. No, I would be too. Those are some good games. Being from Virginia, I know for me, I'm a Washington football team fan, but Baltimore being nearby, I always root for Baltimore as well. Who'd you grow up rooting for? Did you have a player or a team that you rooted for?
Bro, so it's crazy. My dad was a Raiders fan. Everybody from Virginia.
Everyone was a Raiders fan back then.
Yeah, but not. So my dad was a Raiders fan, but everybody, even now from Virginia, they're either a Redskins fan or a Cowboys fans. It's so weird. And you got far enough, you got a couple Eagles.
For sure.
But believe it or not, bro, like I didn't have like a favorite player, but the 49ers were my team. I had a Terrell Owens jersey back in the day. Like I got rid of it once I started playing the league, but the 49ers were my team, bro. Yes. So I was able to play in the old stadium.
Okay, yeah.
And that for me
was
dope. So big because it was the same original, like it was so old. It was the same stadium, that Montana and them played. It was crazy. Like to me, and I actually played well against them. Like we weren't having a great season that year, but I got to see San Fran. Like it was just bro, it was amazing.
That's a cool
Like
experience, man. Watching the
that
team
was
and them
huge.
playing in that same field, because nowadays stadiums, they just kind of go up and lease and they switch around and move in
They
different
switched
cities. So
around.
that's pretty cool, man.
Yo, so thank you for making me think about that because that was a huge. If
Yeah,
I say anything, that was probably one of the biggest things to be able to go into that stadium because I was a huge fan of them
yeah,
and I was able to continue to play.
that's
But
dope.
that was the biggest thing for me right there. I think yes, definitely, hands
That's
down.
awesome, man. When you can bring your childhood to where you're at now, especially what everything you went through, I think when you get to that moment, it's all worth it, right? Like you said, the process.
The process, man. I'm trying to get him to do it now. My oldest is very talented. Like
Yeah.
he's super fast, but he hasn't touched the football field.
Okay.
He's huge soccer, baseball, basketball. He's really I would honestly say I'm trying to get him right. He's talent wise, he's probably more talented than me. He's definitely faster.
Okay.
So we'll see, man.
Well,
But
you're a testament, man. You started in middle school and look where you're at now, man. You went to UVA, you did well there, made it to the pros. So
yeah,
sometimes,
man,
I think
definitely.
sometimes when they start so early, it's a wear and tear, right? So I don't think it's always a bad thing.
No,
Um,
it's not, man. And if they're an athlete and they want it, they'll figure it out. They always do. You know what I mean? Like an athlete is an athlete. You can't. You got two left feet. You got two left
for
feet.
sure,
You can't change it.
sure. Last question, because I don't want to take too much of your time, man. But I had a blast. I could talk to you for days, man. I'm telling you,
We
I'm
could talk
enjoying
all
it.
day, man. Yeah.
But what would you give a recommendation for someone that's in the league right now and talking about transition after football? What's something you would tell someone that's about to transition out of football?
I would tell them to start their transition now, like
Right,
right now. For one, any sport, but especially football, man, the next play could be your last play.
right,
You know, whether it's injury or whether it's the business aspect of it, I would tell them to start the transition now. If you got something you want to do, you got a passion,
hmm,
start looking into it. If you have, like if you sign a deal and you got 4 or 5 years
right,
and you got some money, like learn, take those time, like instead of just traveling on the off season.
right.
Obviously, you got to train, but do some type of internship or something. Learn
Yeah,
something. Learn how to invest. Learn how like put the time into understanding things, man. Because it doesn't matter if you retire with a boatload of money or
right,
no money or a little bit of money. The transition is hard
right.
because you're leaving something that you've been playing for since Pop Warner.
Yep.
So it's hard, man. I don't know of anyone who doesn't go through some sort of dark moment. Like,
Yeah.
and some are other worse than others because people blow money or people just don't have the people calling their name anymore. And
Right.
it's a transition. So realize that it's real. First, acknowledge that you
Right.
can't play football forever,
Right.
but start your transition now. You
Hmm.
should be starting a business or you should be starting to learn about a trait that you want to do or get into a field you want to get into and start doing it now. Start taking classes. Use your name, use
Right.
your clout to get ahead,
Right.
to have something waiting for you because it helps with the transition. The transition is just like a drug addict. Like you have to go through that field regardless.
Right.
Like
Right.
there's ways that you can make it less impactful on you,
Right.
from a standpoint. I went through it was tough. Like my first 2 years was
Hmm.
tough. And
Yeah.
you always think you're gonna get back.
Right.
You just think you do. You're like, oh, I can still play the game,
Right.
like, and it's not even about that, man. It's the business aspect. It's
A lot of things
new
out of control too.
200 kids come in every year. These are no
Mhm.
new kids, they're younger, they're cheaper. Like,
Right.
so it's prepare today. If
Right.
you do it right now. Find something you want to do or whatever you've been wanting to do that's outside of football. If you've only been thinking about football, stop. Think about
Right.
something else. You know what I
Right.
mean? Because football does not last forever. It's one of the shortest sports out of all of the other ones.
That's
So,
true.
everybody's not Tom Brady. I doubt there would be another Tom Brady that played that
Right.
long.
Right.
At that level, even Ray, like it's not normal. You
Right.
always have those people that are different, but
Absolutely.
start today, like yesterday.
As,
It
as
helps with the fall, and you just put yourself in a better situation. So that would be my biggest um thing that I had to say about it.
okay. Man, if you haven't written a book yet, you need to write a book, my friend.
Yo,
You threw a
Lynn,
lot of
thank you so
nuggets in
much,
every
man.
aspect, man. Whether you're a young athlete or someone who's transitioning into sports or even not without sports, man. You threw a lot of nuggets out there. I appreciate I'm even reflecting myself right now. So thank you, brother, and we'll be in touch, man. I appreciate it.
All right, man. Thank you so much, man. I'll definitely be in touch. I'll be checking out your everything you put out, man. All
I
that.
appreciate it, man.
All
We'll
right.
be in contact for sure.
Yes, we will, man. I'll be down there way sometime soon.
All right, yes, sir. I appreciate it.